The first fire was dismissed as tragic. A faulty heater, a cold night, a family barely made it out in time. The second was called coincidence. A short circuit, another cold night. No one hurt, but everything lost. The third, people started whispering, but no one mentioned the dog. Not yet. Before we begin this powerful tale of silence, sacrifice and forgotten heroism, tell me in the comments what city you are watching this from. And if you believe stories like this need to be remembered, hit that subscribe button. Tessa didn't know about the fires. She didn't watch the news much. Her mom worked the late shift at the hospital. Her dad was long gone, and her older brother Connor barely spoke since last year's incident. She preferred the quiet anyway. Books, sketching, wandering the neighborhood when her thoughts grew too loud. That's when she saw him. It was 11:42 p.m. on a Thursday, cold and cloudless. Tessa had just stepped outside to take out the trash when she heard the low shuffle of paws against pavement. She turned. A large German shepherd stood at the end of her driveway facing the house. Still, alert, his black and gray coat blended into the shadows, but his eyes, amber and sharp, were locked on the front door. Tessa froze. "Hey there," she whispered. The dog didn't flinch, didn't growl, just watched. Then he began to pace, back and forth, in front of the porch, like he was waiting for something, or warning. She stepped toward him. "You lost." That's when he turned and ran, not away from her, but toward the woods behind the neighborhood fence. She hesitated. "You then followed." The woods were quiet, no wind, no owls, just her boots crunching frost and the occasional glimpse of the dog ahead, silent, gliding between trees like a shadow. He stopped near an old trailhead, one Tessa didn't recognize. There, between two trees, lay a pile of charred branches and a scorched tin box. The dog sat beside it, waiting. Tessa knelt. The tin box was warped by heat, its lid twisted but not sealed. She opened it. Inside, a pile of burnt matchbooks. 12 of them, each with an address written in black marker. She didn't recognize most of them, but the top one, she did. Her own. Suddenly, the dog stood, ears raised. From behind them, in the distance, a faint sound cut through the trees. A siren. 1, then 2, then 3. Fire trucks. Tessa turned, heart racing, sprinting back through the woods. The dog stayed behind. When she burst from the trees into her backyard, the sky was glowing. Her neighbor's house, 2 doors down, was on fire. Flames licked the side of the roof. Smoke poured into the night. People shouted. Lights flashed. She stood frozen as firefighters pushed past. She looked for the dog. Nowhere. The next morning, Tessa told her mom everything. About the dog, the box, the woods. Her mom chalked it up to stress. "You've been overwhelmed lately. School, your brother." But Tessa wasn't overwhelmed. She was awake, more awake than ever. And the box. She hid it beneath her bed, because one matchbook hadn't burned like the others. The one with her address, still whole, still waiting. Tessa skipped school the next day, not because she was afraid, because she had to know. She spread the matchbooks out across her bedroom floor. Some were scorched beyond recognition, but most still held clues, partial addresses, faded handwriting, a few still smelling faintly of sulfur. She cross-checked them with old news articles. House fires, every single one. 12 addresses, 12 fires, all in the last 3 months, all unsolved, all written by the same hand, and one hadn't happened yet. Hers. That afternoon, Tessa biked back to the trailhead. The tin box was gone. So was the pile of burnt wood. But something new was left behind. A shoe print in the frost, too big to be hers, and a burned journal page pinned to a tree with a rusted nail. It read, "He won't stop until someone remembers." Beneath the message a drawing of the dog, amber eyes, standing in smoke. That night, Tessa waited at the edge of the woods. 2:13 a.m. He came. She stood. "You're trying to stop him, aren't you?" she asked. The dog didn't respond, but he turned and walked. She followed. This time he led her deeper, beyond the creek, past the broken fences, to the ruins of a house long forgotten. The windows were shattered, the roof collapsed, the walls blackened by old flames, but the mailbox still stood. It read, "Connor Halden, her brother." She froze. This was the house from the incident, the one her parents never talked about, where Connor had once lived with his foster family, before everything changed, before he came back to them, silent and distant, before the nightmares started. Inside, the house was hollow. Ash and soot clung to everything, furniture like skeletons, a fireplace torn open at the base. The dog padded to a blackened wall and sat, waiting. Tessa approached. There, scrawled into the wooden beam, with what looked like charcoal, "He watched us burn." She traced her finger over the words. Then she noticed something just behind the wall, metal, a small safe, rusty, old, unlocked. Inside, a stack of Polaroid photos, names, dates, and a list. The fire list. Every address, every fire, each marked with a number. Her home was next. Tessa didn't wait. She ran back through the woods, lungs burning, heart racing. She burst into her house, locked every door, turned off every stove, checked every outlet. Then she woke her brother. "Connor," she whispered, shaking him, "you have to tell me what happened." He stared at her hollow-eyed. "You don't remember the fire?" He shook his head slowly. "I remember the dog." Tessa froze. "You knew him?" Connor nodded. "He used to sit outside my room, every night, like he knew something bad was coming." The next morning, she went to the police. She told them everything. The woods, the safe, the list, the name on the mailbox. At first they doubted her, until they found it. The safe, the photos, the list, and a fingerprint. The man who had fostered Connor all those years ago. He'd changed his name, moved twice, no convictions, until now. He was arrested that night, trying to flee, and as he was taken away, he muttered one thing under his breath. The dog always knew. Tessa waited for Ranger in the woods. She brought food, a blanket, water. He didn't come for 3 days. Then on the 4th night, he was there, watching her from the shadows. This time she didn't speak. She just sat beside him, and for the first time, he rested his head in her lap. The man who had been arrested, Harold Minks, confessed to everything. He had used a fake identity for over a decade, fostered children, moved them between homes, and when they began to speak out, when someone got too close, things caught fire. Accidents, he called them, only they weren't accidents. And one night, 10 years ago, a German shepherd bit his arm to stop him. That night, the house burned. The boy survived. The dog disappeared. Tessa's brother, Connor, had been that boy, but he had blocked it all out. Until now. News of the arrest spread quickly. Reporters called Tessa the girl who cracked the fire case. But she didn't care about the headlines. She cared about the matchbook still under her bed. Her home had been next, and someone, or something, had stopped it. She visited the firehouse with her mom a week later. The chief called her brave. But as he looked through the evidence box, photos, matchbooks, the burned list, he paused, then pulled out a grainy image, taken from a traffic camera near the most recent fire. A German shepherd, sitting alone on the curb, eyes locked on the house, just minutes before the flames. "You've seen this dog?" the chief asked. Tessa nodded. "His name is Ranger." The chief blinked. That was the name of the K9, who helped with the Halden fire. 10 years ago. Tessa's heart skipped. That was Connor's fire. He nodded. Ranger went missing after that night. No one ever found him, until now. Ranger appeared on the hill, behind Tessa's house, every night for a week. Never came close. Just sat, watched, until the night of the storm. A power line went down 2 blocks away. Sirens wailed. The power flickered. The sky flashed. Tessa's house went dark. Her mother lit candles. Her brother stood still, frozen in the hallway, and Ranger was at the back door. This time, he didn't wait. He paced the kitchen, barked at the garage, scratched at the outlet near the dryer. Tessa followed him. That's when she smelled it. Gas. The heater's line had cracked. The storm surge had sparked a leak. Ranger had found it before it ignited. He'd stopped the fire, again, after repairs were made, and the storm passed. Ranger didn't return. Not for days. Tessa searched the woods, called his name, left out food, but he was gone. She thought maybe he was finished. Maybe his mission was complete. 1 week later, a letter arrived. No return address. Inside was a photograph. Ranger sitting beside a young Connor in the ashes of the Halden house. On the back, he didn't just remember the fires, he remembered the children. Tessa framed the photo, placed it above her desk. She told his story, every detail, every matchbook, every fire, and every year on the anniversary of the last blaze. She visited the trailhead in the woods, with a red collar, and a single matchbox that read, Ranger, the house that didn't burn.